A game once loved by thousands of players now sits abandoned, broken, and with little hope of a future. But it wasn't always this way. Let me tell you the story of the rise and the fall of Project Playtime. But first, who am I? Well, my name's Schmiks, and I'm the guy who started the revival for Project Playtime, which happened right after Chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime released. And the reason why that's important is because we took the game from a measly 300 players all the way up to almost 2,800 players on at a single time, as we tried to revive the game and get the developers to update it again. And because of that, I want to present to you the history of Project Playtime, starting off with the early days, or as I like to call them, the golden days. Now, I was actually never a part of Project Playtime when it first started. I didn't even join until Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 launched, so I completely missed out on the golden age of Project Playtime. But hearing from other creators and the community, I hear it was pretty awesome. During the golden age, Mob Entertainment was actually very involved in Project Playtime, believe it or not. They had staff continuously on the game, taking player feedback, monitoring where they could improve or what they could add, and genuinely everyone was just having a really fun time. There were creator events and new skins coming out all the time, and this genuinely was the golden age of Project Playtime. And sadly, I never got to experience this, but these were some of the best moments in Project Playtime history. Now, the golden age lasts all the way up from the launch of the game, all the way until they added Phase 3. And Phase 3, unfortunately, was the beginning of the end for Project Playtime. Now, Phase 3 was notorious for being one of the most hated updates in Project Playtime history, and that's because they took away a lot of the features that the community loved, they took away a lot of features that made the game unique, and overall, it kind of felt like they were trying to kill their own game. You see, with the development of Project Playtime, Mob Entertainment didn't have as many resources to put into developing their new chapters, which was actually Chapter 3 at the time. And so this actually ended up delaying Chapter 3 from coming out, which I don't think they were very happy about. And when they updated the game to Phase 3, they took away some really important features for the community, such as the Huggy Pit, dash handles, the pre-game lobby, the tutorial, and even the ability to make custom lobbies with your friends. The game was so much different than everything that the community knew and loved. And that's why this update was really the beginning of the end for Project Playtime. People stopped logging in. They didn't care as much about new skins because the game that they loved, it just wasn't the same. And the real problem here is it didn't need to be this way. Mob Entertainment clearly took away some features that people really enjoyed about the game, and a lot of us felt like they might have done it intentionally. Now, obviously there's no proof for that, and I'm not going to throw shade on Mob Entertainment. We do love Poppy Playtime and everything that they make, but it's sad to see that happen to a game that so many people really loved. Now, after that, Project Playtime went dark for a little while. There would be an occasional influx of players with each new chapter of the Poppy Playtime series, but generally, besides that, nobody was playing Project Playtime. But then something happened. Chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime released, and people were reminded how much they love Poppy Playtime, and thus how much they wanted to interact with the characters of that universe in Project Playtime. And this began the great Project Playtime revival. Because of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, there were already a ton of players logging back onto the game, and a lot of creators were coming back to the game and wanting to make content on it. But the players and creators slowly realized that if we didn't hear anything from Mob Entertainment on Project Playtime, the game would just go right back to where it was before we all started playing again. And that is something we did not want to happen. And so we needed a mission, we needed a movement, we needed a revival. And one day a revival started, and for me, it was an accident. I had just finished playing Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 on stream, and the whole community was so excited about it. And so I thought I would try out Poppy Playtime's multiplayer game. I'd never played it before, and I thought it could be fun. But before I even got to play, one of my viewers reminded me that Project Playtime's a dead game, and there might not even be people on if we try to play it. And so as a joke, I titled my YouTube stream Reviving Project Playtime. In that stream started one of the biggest movements in Project Playtime history, the Great Project Playtime Revive. What started as a joke for me began a real movement where people were really invested in the game. They wanted their favorite Poppy Playtime game to come back and to actually get an update or see some love or news from the developers. And so we started a mission. We're gonna revive Project Playtime and get so many people on the game that Mob Entertainment won't be able to ignore us. Weekend after weekend, we would break new records of player counts over and over again until it all came to one final peak. Our goal was to break the record that Phase 3 held over 2 years prior of 2,894 players. We were posting videos, getting creators involved, and getting as many eyes on Project Playtime as we possibly could. We even started a Discord server for creators who were interested in joining the Project Playtime revival movement. And with this massive amount of attention, we were going to break the record, or at least get very close. And we did get very close. We only missed the record by 108 players with 2,786 players online in 2026. But as creators, we knew that people were only going to play a dead game for so long without any positive news or updates. And so although we did everything we possibly could to get Mob Entertainment's attention, they left us in the dark. And slowly but surely, week after week, those peak player counts began to disappear. People began to stop playing Project Playtime. And it wasn't because they were busy or because the game wasn't fun. It wasn't because there wasn't enough skins, but there was no news at all regarding a future update. The reason they stopped playing was because there was no hope for a future. We had received no news from the developers, no recognition from Mob Entertainment that we even were trying to revive the game. Mob Entertainment completely left us in the dark, and with it, they abandoned their chance at bringing back one of our favorite games. So, where is Project Playtime now? Well, the answer is, it's not in great shape. The other day, we decided to hop on Project Playtime for old time's sake, and we noticed something. The ticket system is broken. There's now no way to get skins or items in the game without spending real money. And unfortunately, this isn't a good sign. This could mean one of two things. Either Mob Entertainment hasn't realized that it's broken, or even worse, they have realized that it's broken and they don't intend to fix it. Regardless, we still played a few matches and had a fun time. The game still runs and you can still play Project Playtime in 2026. However, the only reason we were able to find a lobby is because we were all there from the live stream. I do have a suspicion that if you tried to queue up on your own, you're not getting more than 3 or 4 players in one session. And so as of now, Project Playtime is abandoned, broken, and with little hope of a future, right? And that brings me to the last segment of this video. What does the future of Project Playtime look like? The reality of the game is that the daily peak is less than 200 players, the game is broken, and there's no news of an update coming anytime soon. But when will an update come to Project Playtime? And the answer is, we might never see another update for Project Playtime. But we also might see an update for Project Playtime. It just might not be when we want it to be. If there is an update for Project Playtime, it's likely going to be after the Poppy Playtime chapter series has completely finished. Now this could be in chapter 6 or this could be in chapter 10. To be honest, I have no clue at this point, but we know that apparently Mob Entertainment is not a large enough company to work on 2 games at once. Although personally, I think they have the revenue to solve that problem. That's out of my hands. So is there anything we can do about this? Do we seriously have to wait until Poppy Playtime Chapter 15 for an update for Project Playtime? At this point, we've done everything we can. I still get people coming in my chats every day saying, please go back and revive Project Playtime. Please play Project Playtime. Why did you stop playing Project Playtime? And it's not that I don't want the game back. It's not that I don't want to play the game or to revive the game, but at the end of the day, I may have been a part of starting the revival of Project Playtime, but I cannot revive the game alone. The Project Playtime revival was something that was only made possible because so many creators took time and energy to pour their heart into the game, to pour their opinions into possible updates. It's not something that one person could be responsible for. I am so thankful to have been a part of it, but I don't think it's something that I have control over. Now, I don't want to end this video on a sad note, and so I won't. Project Playtime may be dead, and we obviously still want it updated. So when Poppy Playtime Chapter 6 drops, you know we'll be back for another Project Playtime revival. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Jesus loves you guys. And welcome to the Schmiks Army.